Making dust particles and snow effects in Photoshop, it's actually not really difficult. I found a technique that gives some quite nice results. You can use it to create, as I said, snow effects, snowflakes and dust particles and explosion debris and things like that. And in order to create this kind of effects, we will use the noise filter, the Gaussian blur, and the dry brush filter. Hey guys, this is Andrei from PSD Box. I'm back with a quick tutorial. I want to show you how to create snow and dust particles in Photoshop. On my website I have a pack with real dust particles that I photographed myself, but I want to show you how you can use Photoshop filters to create your own particles. And I have this stock image here. You can use any image. You will find the link to this particular stock image on the video description. But as I said, this is just for example. So the first thing you need to do is create a new layer, because you want to have the particles on a separate layer so you can edit them whenever you want. Once you have that, just fill this layer with black or white. It doesn't really matter, but it has to be black or white because we will use blend modes. I'll fill it with black because I will use the screen blend mode. I'll show you how to use the multiply blend mode also if you want to use this technique on another background. And once your layer is filled with black, by the way, you can do that if you go to Edit, Fill, or if you press Shift and Backspace, you will open this window here. You can choose black and just click OK, and it fills the layer with black. Or an even quicker way of doing that is setting the foreground color to black and just press Alt and Backspace, and you will fill the layer with the foreground color which you have here. So once you have this, go to Filter, Noise, Add Noise. Now, the important thing here is that you have this set to monochromatic. You can use Gaussian or uniform. I usually set it on Gaussian. And the amount that I use is about 90%. You can try other amounts, but it's not really necessary. Just about 90% is okay. And click OK. And with this same layer selected, go to Filter, and you can use the filter gallery. I'm using Photoshop CS6, and I have the filters here. It's inside the artistic, and you choose dry brush. Let's go to the filter gallery, and from here you can see it's inside the artistic drop down here, and select dry brush. And let me zoom out a bit so you can see the entire image. All you need to do here is play with the brush size. About 2 or 3, it's enough. If you set it to 1, you'll have too many particles. But if you want to do that, just go ahead. I use it, I'll set it on 2 here. The brush detail is not really going to do much here, and neither does the texture, so you can leave these ones to 1 and 0. And once you have this, click OK. And now we have the particles here. You can see it's really easy. And I'll zoom in at 100%. The problem that we have here is that the edges are really sharp, and we don't really want that necessarily. So the first thing I'll do now is change the blend mode of this to screen, because I want to get rid of the black background and only have these white particles. So I'll set this to screen, and now you can see that I have these particles visible. And in order to smoothen them, I can go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and add about 1 or 2 pixels of blur depending on the canvas size that you're using, and just click OK. And you can see that it kind of looks like snow falling, but you can enhance this even more. But I'll use another stock image for that, because you'll see the particles a lot better. So let's do the same with this stock image. I'll create a new layer, press Alt and Backspace to fill it with black, go to Filter, Noise, Add Noise. I'll use the same settings, click OK, and go back to Filter, Artistic, and choose Dry Brush. And I'll leave the settings to 2, 0, and 1, click OK again. Wait for the filter to apply. Now I have my particles here. One trick you can do if you think you have too many particles is use the levels. So you can press Ctrl L to open the levels. Just increase the midtones. You can see that it takes away some of the particles, but it's easier to just increase the brush size on the filter, set it to about 3, and that way you'll get less particles. Now let's set the blend mode to screen, and I have here my particles. Let's say these are snowflakes, and just go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and apply about, let's see, 2 pixels of blur, 1.5, like that, and click OK. And as I said, to simulate some depth, what you can do is you can duplicate this layer if you want, or just create another one. I'll create a new one and repeat the steps. You can even create an action for this if you want to. Just go here to the actions, create a new one, give it a name, hit record, do the steps, and then stop it. And that way you have the action ready. And whenever you want to apply that, you can, at the press of a button, you can do the same thing that I'm doing here a lot quicker. Have to go to the filter noise first. I'm doing it quick now because I just shown you how I did that. I brush, but this time I'm going to set the brush size to 3, so I have less particles, and click OK. And one other thing that I will do is press Ctrl T on this new layer to load the free transform and make it bigger, a lot bigger, as you can see. And I'll apply more blur to this. I'll apply about, let's see, 7 pixels of blur, and that simulates some depth of field, because you have these particles which are supposed to be closer to the camera, that's why are blurred. And for more effect, I'll duplicate that and move it around a bit. And on the first layer, I can duplicate that again if I want it. And if you want more, if you want some motion to this, you can use the distort filters. You can also use the motion blur, but I don't really like how it looks because it's too straight. The movement, I want something a bit more chaotic. So you can use the wave filter, for example. Just to decrease the scale and increase the amplitude and the wavelength. And let's see what options we have here. You can use a triangle if you want to, and choose the wraparound, because otherwise you will make the ones that are on the edges to be stretched. So choose wraparound, and let's click OK. And the way we get some of them don't look really nice, as you can see there, but you get a bit of motion, so to say. If you want the particles to be black, the only thing you need to do, I'll delete this other layers. I'll change the blend mode back to normal. If you want the particles to be black, all you need to do is to invert this layer. You can do that if you press Ctrl I, or you can also do that from Image, Adjustments, Invert. So you can see the keyboard shortcut here, Ctrl I, and that way you have the particles black. But if you want to only see the particles, you will have to use another blend mode, which is the multiply blend mode, and that way you get rid of the white background. And you can repeat the steps and get the effect that you want. So I hope you liked this quick tutorial. This is Andre from PSD Box. Thank you for watching and see you next time.